Yo, what's up everybody, King GBL here, and welcome back to some Go Battle League. Today guys, I'm going to be showcasing, it's kind of a secret team of mine that I've never uploaded, but this team has been super consistent for me over the last season. I highly recommend it for Great League. We've got H-Electrode, Chargebug, Goodra, Watergun Lantern. This team cooks, man. Sometimes I hop on Go Battle League and I think, man, what am I going to use today, bro? Whenever I can't really think of anything, I just kind of revert back to this team. I want to say a big shout out to my friend John here for the team suggestion a few months ago, John Lien. Big shout out to him. It's his team originally. This team was kind of popular with Mandibuzz instead of Goodra. However, this team works super well with Goodra. We've got basically triple electric coverage on the whole team, right? So if the opponent's using a Mantine, Feraligatr, even an Azu to a certain degree, your whole team does very fine into those. Generally speaking, there are a few Pokemon that are quite difficult for the team and a few team compositions that can be quite tricky. And guys, I want to give you like an early heads up. This team is going to be so much better next season. A lot of the stuff that counters this team is going to be basically gone from the meta. If you think about what next season's meta is going to be, it's going to be Quagsire, which by the way guys, a lot of people are using next season's Pokemon in Great League currently. So you will actually see this team against next season's meta, which is quite cool. But you're going to see things like Quagsire, Mandibuzz, right? Feraligatr is going to be basically everywhere next season, and this team does very, very well into those types of teams. Watergun on the Lantern, of course with next season's Surf, which is extra damage next season, is going to be doing very well into the Quagsires. Mandibuzz, of course, we have triple electric coverage on the team. Feraligatr, once again, triple electric coverage. Guys, I'm going to give you like an early heads up what I think one of the best teams is going to be next season. There is a very particular core breaker to this team, but generally speaking, Quagsire, Mandibuzz, and Feraligatr could be a very strong trio. That team is core broken by things like Sandslash and Ice Pokemon in general. But if you're going to be facing those types of cores, just keep this team in the back of your mind because it could be working very well. I tried it once again yesterday in the Open Great League. I had some really good results with it. It went extremely positive. I think I had a 5-0 and a 4-1 in the video as well. So listen, sit back, relax, enjoy. We're almost at 5,000 subscribers on the channel, man. If you're not yet subscribed, what are you doing, bro? Subscribe, drop a like, and let's hop on into the battles. So as we were talking about, whenever there are these types of Pokemon like Mantine, Dugong, this team just goes crazy hard. And you know, even with Goodra, against super effective Ice Shards and Icy Winds, in the worst case scenario, if you need to get off a last second move with Goodra, you can take an Icy Wind, you can take a few Ice Shards, and you can get off Thunder Punch, which I think is so useful. The opponent here ends up throwing in bad timing. I get the free Volt Switch. We just build up to back here. I'm going to under-tap the move. That's going to be GG's. Thanks for playing, and curtains to the opponent. So like I mentioned guys, I think this team will be very good next season. Do let me know in the comment section down below if you have any cool team ideas, anything that you think might be quite strong next season that's maybe going a little bit under the radar. Do let me know down below. So this is quite an awkward lead. We do get 2 shields off the opponent. You don't really ever go discharge here because X-Scissors and Volt Switches basically add up. If you land an X-Scissor from here, it gets them into the very deep red, into basically Volt Switch down range. I'm usually pretty satisfied to get 2 shields. Yeah, for back-to-back moves here, we outpace the 2 moves, and at this point, just swap into Goodra, come in, Dragon Breath the whole way down. If the opponent stays into for a Dragon Claw, I will respect it, but generally speaking, if they swap out, that's fine as well. Having a Dragonite in the back, looming with a Dragon Claw banked, always scary, always hate to see it. Typically, the opponent does throw the move right away. The opponent goes for their second Body Slam here. We do make it to the move as well. Goodra is just surprisingly bulky, man. It's like one of the bulkier dragons in the meta. With Dragonair being a little bit nerfed next season, having its Body Slam a little bit worse. Dragonair's looking pretty fine here. We come into Chargebug right here. Now, what I decide to do, guys, pay attention to this. The opponent's got a move banked, right? So I'm going to shield, and I'm going to swap right away. What I decided to do there, as my win condition, is I need the extra energy, right? The opponent's outpacing me, they're on Spark. I need to basically draw the opponent's Dragonite back out. So the reason I shielded that move is basically because I want the opponent to go for a snipe. So I baited the opponent into sniping me, which gives me an energy lead with my own Lantern. I get the energy lead, I bank an X-Scissor, and this is just game over at this point. The opponent goes for a Bolt that will take me out. We just click on the move. I think the opponent was probably 1 off here at this point. And yeah, that's good games. Dragonite leads are oftentimes pretty tricky. In that case, especially because they banked the move, and yeah, I kind of kept it alive. Made it very awkward. Speaking of awkward, we are kind of ABA weak to this in a way. You would be very surprised how well Chargebug can do in this matchup. The opponent will be required to throw 2 moves, and 2 X-Scissors gets this fairly low. Now guys, typically whenever you see a Mudboy lead, they tend to have stuff like Mantine in the back, Skarmory Mantine, something that's weak to Electric basically. This is the answer to Electric on the team. The opponent's probably so happy here, like yes, we get the Chargebug in the lead, but then they end up going for a Catch and Talonflame. So this is a huge opportunity for me to go for a massive farm. I come in right away, not waiting the switch clock, because I will only be waiting the opponent's switch clock. I'm not actually locked into this matchup, meaning that whenever Quaggy comes back in, I can just swap straight back out again. that's what we're going to do. I'm expecting the opponent to come in here for the Mud Bomb. I'm assuming they're probably on Mud Bomb because they're so weak to that in the back. So I think it makes sense for this to be Mud Bomb. I was contemplating shielding a potential Stone Edge. We get the huge farm down, and I think that's basically GG's. I wanted to show that match because, like, you can see, if you get something that's really bad for Lantern in the lead, that's like bad for Charge-a-Bug but fairly neutral-ish, you can just stay in there and do very well against it. Feraligatr lead, the opponent actually stays in the throw move here. These Volt Switches will definitely add up. I'm going to shield a Hydro Cannon, it's going to hurt a lot. The opponent's obviously ABA weak to this if they're staying in to do this. The opponent finally goes for the catching Quagsire. I come in immediately to Goodra. If you get the Quagsire safe swap against this team, you basically want to come in right away. Now, as the opponent here, you have to realise that it's going to take 2 moves to knock out my Goodra anyway. So going for Earthquake does not put this into a farm down range. Quagsire hits like a wet tissue, bro. In fact, it hits like a dry tissue. A wet tissue actually kind of hurts a little bit. This thing hits like an absolute feller, bro. We do end up taking it out, and in comes Ape for the farm down. I was surprised the opponent did not come back into their lead. They do show the Ape in the back. I'm going to come in, immediately go for the X's or bait. Psychologically speaking, I think whenever you do this, the opponents are tending to shield, because it seems like you're just coming in to snipe the move, right? I tend to like baiting in that situation sometimes, just because the opponent's often respected. The opponent comes back into Gator. All I basically need to do here is just sack the Lantern, farm it down with the Charge-a-Bug, get off a move in the Ape, and that's going to be basically GG's. I think the opponent gets off a move here, and I do think they eventually realize, like, yeah, this is just not going to happen anymore. I don't have to shield this Pokemon here. Absolutely no need to shield it. You're going to see here that I had a Surf. Instead of throwing the Surf, I decided to let myself go down, because I would rather take the Volt Switch instead of giving them the extra energy. In the next battle here, very interesting matchup, we have a H-Electrode. Very funny pick and spicy pick by the opponent here. They go for the Wild Charge, does a decent little chip, even though resisted. We end up actually swapping into the wrong Pokemon by mistake here. But in hindsight, I think this was actually the correct play, because bang, we take the Earthquake no problem here. And of course, the opponent's running H-Electrode in the lead. That thing completely walls Lantern. So in hindsight, what seemed like a pretty bad swap, I think is actually fine, because we can let this go. Of course, the Goodra energy is not amazing into the H-Electrode, but if I remember correctly, they're on like Wild Charge, Power Whip, so they don't really have good moves to throw against me. Grass Knot maybe. I try to go for the catch right here. I decide here, like, I want my Charge-a-Bug on this, so my Goodra needs to deal with whatever their back Pokemon is. So I decide to shield that Wild Charge, because it probably does about 50% of my health. I want to keep some health on this thing, and as you can see here, the Goodra is super useful into this team. Basically, I'm going to get 2 shields off the opponent, come into my bug, commit to the farm down, the opponent lets the second move go, commit to the farm down, get a few Volt Switches through, build up to back-to-back moves, and that should be absolute curtains to the opponent. The opponent will shield here, just, you know, playing the match out a little bit. But if this does not one-shot, it should put it in very, very low range, and yeah, that's going to be GG's well played. Once again, guys, if you have a Gator in the opposing team, a Mantine in the opposing team, something that's very weak to Electric, this team is going to destroy it. Now, what looks like a bad lead, not quite as bad as it looks, we come into Water Gun Lantern here. They can throw a super effective dig, but this is no problem whatsoever. I can just shield this up. They do tend to throw the dig right away here, respecting Lantern's bulk. We live that very comfortably. And the opponent actually comes into a Dugong. So the opponent, in a way, is sort of ABA weak to Water Gun Lantern, which once again, guys, I think next season is going to be very strong. I decide here, we're going to let this go. We can definitely take this move very, very comfortably, and I can basically look to threaten the one-shot with the Thunderbolt. If the opponent wants to shield here, I probably would try to fight for alignment here, to be fair, just to get the Goodra on the Gligar. But as you guys are seeing, this Water Gun damage is adding up so much. RIP Gligar, not going to be in the meta next season. We come into Goodra, get a nasty farm down, and I'm thinking here they've showed one thing weak to Electric, so they probably have 2 things weak to Electric, which definitely was the case. Mantine lead, absolute dream lead, and the opponent comes into a Ferrothorn. Whenever you're using a normal team, you're like, oh no, this Ferrothorn, I can't swap out, I don't know what to swap into. Guys, we're using free Pokemon on this team with Electric coverage. We don't necessarily need the bug on the Ferrothorn. This is a fantastic matchup for Charge-a-Bug. We can get out of here potentially with energy as well. The opponent goes for a 1 and throw here. The timing on this is 2 or 5 for me, and it's 1 or 5 for the opponent. Very difficult to do good timing in this matchup. It's basically impossible after a while. We go for the move immediately. The opponent smartly goes for the extra Bullet Seed here, but like I'm just giving up alignment. I have no reason to. I can put the Water Gun Lantern on the Mantine with 0 shields. Like that's just such a dominant matchup, so I 1 and throw here. We'll see if the opponent comes for an aggressive Mantine farm down, or if they have a better answer in the back. And what we see in the back makes me so happy that I fought for alignment. We get off a Dying Egg Scissor. You know, this chip could help a little bit if they stay in with the Steelix for a while. This could be getting a little bit tricky. If they beat the Psychic Fangs, go for the Earthquake, but I think we just take them out with a Surf anyway. The opponent brings in the Mantine, they recognise it's game over, and then that's it, we do get a 5-0. Yeah, absolutely love to see it. Overall, very positive day with this team. And hopping into the next one, the positive leads continue. I could not get swapped out there, and you're going to see that this is going to be pretty costly. Steelix is an absolute pain in the ass, especially whenever you miss your bubbles on your surf as well, but especially whenever they threaten the earthquake and then go for psychic fangs. Real absolute pain when they do this. Just because if they have a hard answer to the bug in the back and I lose swap, I'm basically screwed. One would think that if they're running a Mantine lead, they should have 2 good answers to the bug, so it could be basically anything in the back. Could be like a ground type, some sort of hard answer to bug. I decide like, okay, I've got 3 Pokemon that can deal with the Mantine. I'll just come in, get the Dragon Breath down, and basically hope for the best here. They bring Mantine back in, and the thing about this matchup is we can't one-shot it with Thunder Punch. Mantine's pretty bulky. Thunder Punch is just a less hard-hitting move. I come in here to absorb the damage and bug, assuming, like I said, that they have a hard answer to this. And unfortunately, guys, they have one of the hardest answers of all. Stinky McBinky. Stinky Binky. Stinky Binky in the back, bro. This is GG's, man. I can chip away, but it's the best buddy Stinky. Yeah, I mean, I think what the opponent ends up doing here is going for a Rock Slide. So even calling Rock Slide bait is not going to help me. They do make it to 2 here. Unfortunately, because I'm not on Power Whip, which I don't think you want to be using Power Whip in this meta anyway. But yeah, we don't have a move that can do like heavy damage in that situation. The opponent outpaces me to 2. So I think in that matchup there, it might have been low-key worth shielding and farming down the Mantine with the Goodra. That could have been the case, or you know, if it's an ace, just take it. That way we can get through a lot of Aqua Tail damage first on the Carbink. Whenever you give the opposing Pokemon a huge farm down at the end, you know, that's worth taking into consideration. Like, it's like so obvious if you think about it. Mantine lead, right? What's Mantine double weak against? Yep, that's electric. So the opponent's probably going to have 2 answers to electric in the back, okay? So, what are hard answers to electric? The Steelix, ground types. Carbink's not really what you would expect, but at the very least, you should expect Carbink, Charjabug not to have a lot of play in the back. So with that in mind, is it better to swap out and basically allow the opponent to get a ton of energy on that very, very positive matchup? Or is it better to stay in and take a move on your useful Pokemon, let's say, and try to get an energy lead against their back Pokemon? Had I done that instead, I would have forced the opponent to throw a Moonblast on the Goodra. I'd probably get off 2 or 3 Aqua Tails at the very least, and then I think I put it into a very close range where like maybe 2 discharges knocks it out or something like that. Could have been a lot closer. We end up water cutting down the Azu. We come back in here and the opponent brings in Jellicent. We are just absolutely loaded in energy here. Like I said, we just have electric coverage all over the team. You love to see it. The opponent's going to be forced to Shadow Ball here. If they go for a Surf, of course, yeah. I'm sort of half expecting them to go for a Surf bait here, but it's kind of rough. Like, this Shadow Ball just about knocks out. The opponent actually does full send it here, and I can commit to a full farm down, which is amazing. I tap on the move here, because I think the opponent banked some energy with Licky, but the opponent concedes the match, so that's game over. In the next battle, guys, I had some very, very good leads this video. We got Azu lead. Azu lead's just everywhere at the minute. Everywhere at the minute. It's everywhere at the minute. We go for the X-Scissor here on the Licky 250. I don't have a direct answer to this, so at the very least, I need to stay in and chip it. I definitely prefer to keep my Volt Switch user on the waters, if possible, because we're using Water Gun and Lantern, Dragon Breath on the Goodra. You definitely prefer to have the Fast Move Pressure Pokemon on the, of course, super effective typing, right? This is kind of tricky. It's tricky dicky, because they can make it to 2 moves and they can just outfarm the Goodra. We end up dying with the move. IVs matter, guys. I don't have a hugely bulky Goodra. Unfortunate. I think next season you will want a more bulky Goodra than the Lickitung Slayer, just so you can survive a little bit better. In comes the Skeledirge. I've run very good timing here, which may actually allow me to get off 2 moves. That could be pretty vital to win this match here. We get off the Discharge here. We to and fro for good timing here. We won't take the Incinerate damage because 2 Volt Switches is 8 turns, 2 Incinerates is 10 turns, and with Incinerate, the damage applies after 4 turns, so we were able to get that off without taking the Incinerate, which is fantastic. The opponent baits me with a Disarming Voice. I decided here I'm just going to double shield this because I think even a Disarming Voice probably does comparable damage here. At this point, guys, this is so risky, but I sort of have to go for the bait. Yeah, the opponent calls it. That's GG's. Thanks for playing, bro. GG's. Thanks for playing. You're going to see this team quite a lot. This is the world champion Yakai's team, which was showcased on Henry's channel quite recently. The opponent goes for a nice catch and Registeel. I think I'm very happy with this because this allows me to get a huge farm of Charjabug basically. Charjabug up energy is basically the win con on this team, because if you think about it, they've got Gator in the back, right? So like multiple X-Scissors will take it out, plus Volt Switches. They banked some energy on the Altaria, however they took a lot of Dragon Breath damage, so if I can just get a lot of energy with this, I think we're in a very good position. That's what we're going to go for. The opponent unfortunately frozen alignment, unfortunately for them. and because I get the Zap Cannon debuff right here, I'm unable to farm it down. After throwing this move, I kind of regretted it. I thought maybe I should have went to Lantern, got the energy lead, get the water guns through, which would have outpaced the lock-ons to the next move. We come in here against the Altarium. I end up shielding this move because I think it hurts more than a Crunch or a Hydro Cannon or whatever, so I'm pretty happy to shield that, and it is Gator. I go for the Surf Bait the first time, and I think we'll go Bolt second time. Basically, all I need to do is land a move on this, build up to back-to-back moves for Altaria, and that should be GG's. Yo, listen, if you've made it to the end, much appreciated. Thank you very much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day here. I'm going to head off here, probably get this video edited, and I'll most likely throw up a stream quite soon. If you are interested in making a bit of a push, I do recommend this team. As with everything else, it has its ups and downs. It's not a perfect team. There is no perfect team in this game. But this is just a secret team I've been using. I've never uploaded it, and it's just been super consistent. I decided to use it again yesterday, and it basically works super well for me. Anyway guys, have a fantastic rest of your day. Drop a like in the video, subscribe, and I will catch you all next time.